visit some of her connections in East Tennessee, and she was seizing at every chance to change Bailey's mind.
Now look here, Bailey. See here, read this, hear this fellow that calls himself the Misfit. He's loose from the federal pen and headed towards Florida. And you're reading what it says he did to those people.
Bailey was the son she lived with, her only boy. He was sitting on the edge of his chair at the table, bent over the orange sports section of the journal.
You wouldn't take my children in any direction with a criminal like that, you said. I couldn't answer to my conscience if I did.
Bailey didn't look up from his reading, so she wheeled around and faced the children's mother, a young woman in slacks whose face was as broad and innocent as a cabbage.
The children have been to Florida before. The children have been to Florida before. You ought to take them somewhere else for change, so they'd see different parts of the world and be broad.
The children's mother didn't seem to hear her, but the 8-year-old boy, John Wesley, a stocky child with glasses, said,
If you don't want to go to Florida, why don't you just stay at home? Yes. And what would you do if this fellow, the Misfit, caught you? I'd smack his face.
he and the little girl, June Starr, were reading the funny papers on the floor.
She'd never stay home for $1 million. Afraid she'd miss something. She has to go everywhere we go. All right, miss. Just remember that the next time mommy you curl your hair. Well, my hair is naturally curly.
The next morning, the grandmother was the first one in the car, ready to go. She was hiding in a basket with Pitty Singh, the cat's dead. She didn't intend for the cat to be left alone in the house for 3 days, because he would miss her too much. And she was afraid he might brush against one of the gas burners and accidentally asphyxiate himself. But her son Bailey didn't like to arrive at a motel with a cat. She sat in the middle of the back seat, with John Wesley and June Starr on either side of her. Bailey and the children's mother sat in front. They left Atlanta at 8:45, with the mileage of the car at 55890. The grandmother moved this down. It took them 20 minutes to reach the outskirts of the city. She pointed out an interesting detail of the scenery. Stone Mountain. The blue ground in some places came up to both sides of the road. The brilliant red clay blocks, slightly streaked with color. And the various crops made rows of greenish circle around. The trees were full of silver white sunlight, and the leaves of them sparkled.
get this. This is the one and only time we're stopping for anything like this. One and only time.
They turned onto the dirt road, and the car raced roughly along and swerved in dust. The dirt road was hilly, now sun washed with sharp curves. All at once they'd be on a hill, looking down over the blue tops of trees for miles around. Then the next minute, they'd be in a red depression, with the dust-coated trees looking down on them.
If this place doesn't turn up soon, I'm gonna turn round.
I'm sure it's not much further.
The grandmother said, but just as she said, a horrible thought came to her. The thought was so embarrassing that she turned red in the face, and her eyes dilated and her feet jumped up, upsetting the police in the corner. The instant the police arrived, the newspaper tops she had over the mask gallery rolled into the snow, and the police
Turned over
You watch them, children, Bobby Lee. You know they make me nervous. Paint a cloud in the sky. Don't see no sun. I don't see no cloud night.
Yes, it's a beautiful day. This should hide itself a bit. This honor, you're in heart. I'm just going to
Hush! We will all just shut up and let me handle this.
I appreciate that, lady.
It'll take us half an hour to fix this here car.
You and Bobby Lee get him and that little boy to step over yonder with you. The boys wanna ask you something. Would you mind stepping in them woods there with them?
Look here. We're in terrible. Nobody knows what this is. I'll be back. I'll be back. Just wait for me.
I just know you're a good man. You're not a bit common.
No man, a good man is hard to find. My daddy said I was a different breed of dog from my brothers and sisters. You know, Rosie, it's some that live their whole life out without asking about it. And it's others that has to know why it is. And this boy is one of the latter. He's gonna be into everything. I'm sorry I don't have a shirt before you ladies. We buried the clothes that we had on when we escaped, and we're just making do until we can do better.
That's perfectly alright. Maybe has an extra shirt in his suitcase. Where are they taking him?
Daddy was a card himself. You couldn't put anything over on him. Never got in trouble with the authorities. Just had an act of handling them.
You could be honest too, if you only tried. Think how wonderful it would be to settle down to our comfortable life and not have to think about somebody chasing you all the time.
Yes, someone is always after you.
Do you ever breathe?
No. Just when you think that is your path, you look for him and find him fooling with some old guy. tornado. See a man burnt alive, even seen a woman flogged. I never was a bad boy that I remember of, but somewhere along the line I done something wrong and was sent to the penitentiary. I was buried alive.
That's when you should have started to pray. What did you do to get sent to the penitentiary that first time?
Turn to the right, it was a wall. Turn to the left, it was a wall. Look up, it was a ceiling. Look down, it was a floor. Turn to the right, it was a wall. Turn to the left, it was a wall. Look up, it was a ceiling. Look down, it was a floor. Turn to the right, it was a wall. Turn to the left, it was a wall. Look up, it was a ceiling. Look down, it was a floor. Turn to the right, it was a wall. Turn to the left, it was a wall. Look up, it was a ceiling. Look down, it was a floor. I forget what I done. I forget what I done, baby. I sat there and sat there, trying to remember what it was I done, but I ain't recorded this. Once in a while I would think it was coming to me, but it never comes. No, it wasn't no mistake. They had the papers on me. Nobody had nothing I wanted. That's right. I don't want no help. I'm doing alright by myself. Throw me that shirt, Bobby Lee. No, lady, I found out the crime don't matter. You can do one thing, or you can do another. Kill a man, or take the tire off his car. Because sooner or later, you're gonna forget what it was. You'll forget what it was you've done and just be punished for it. Lady, would you and that little girl like to step over yonder with Bobby Lee and Hiram and join your husband?
Yes, thank you.
Help that lady up Hiram and Bobby Lee. You
The fat boy blushed at last and caught her by the arm and pulled her off into the woods after Hiram and her mother. Alone with the misfit, the grandmother found she had lost her voice. There was not a cloud in the sky nor any sun. There was nothing around her but woods. She wanted to tell him that he must pray. She opened and closed her mouth several times before anything came out.
Yes, Ma. Jesus thrown everything off balance. It was the same case with him as with me, except he hadn't committed any crime, and they could prove I had, 'cause they had the papers on me. They never showed me my papers. That's why I signed myself down. I said long ago, you get you a signature and sign everything you do and keep a copy of it. Then you'll know what's done and you can hold up the crime to the punishment and see do they match. And in the end, you'll have something to prove you ain't been treated right. I call myself innocent because I can't think what I done, what I gone through in punishment. Does it seem right to you, lady, that one is punished a heat and another ain't punished at all?
Jesus, you got good blood. I know you ain't surely. I know you come from nice people. Jesus, you're not precious, my lady. I'll give you all the money I've got.
Lady, there never was a body that gave the undertaker a tip.
Baby, baby boy, baby boy.
Jesus was the only one that ever raised the dead. And he shouldn't have done it. He thrown everything off balance. If he did what he said, there's nothing for you to do but throw your life away and
as she murmured,
You're one of my babies. You're one of my own children.
You were quite tall, wasn't
She would have been a good woman if there had been somebody there to shoot her every minute of her life.
you? Some fun.
Shut up, Bobby.